Welcome to For Collectors. Hello, collectors. Welcome to For Collectors, the channel for collectors like you. We are here gathered to do something crazy tonight. We're actually going to show cards. Can you imagine that? There seems to be a lot of focus in the community about just talking and talking and talking on videos. But right here, we're going to show some cards tonight. And I have a big thanks for this panel here because we had a little situation with the Dodgers in the playoffs and our regularly scheduled host having issues putting this live stream on. So these guys came in last second. This was going to be the show for next weekend, and it became this weekend, and we had to sub in even Aaron. So yes, thank you, Aaron, for being my emergency out of the bullpen relief there. So thank you.
Glad to help.
Yes, and thank you, Jake and John, for being flexible to bring this forward a week because there was a little prep involved. I did make a list of different themes that we are working towards. So it's going to be a fun card showing. And with each round, just for fun, the audience, you get to decide who won each round, who represented the theme best and provided the best example. Because, you know, whoever wins ultimately will have the people's fame and ovation for all time. I'm not familiar. That's what they used to say with the Japanese version of Iron Chef. But
cuisine,
right? Yes. So everybody, we got some already people forming in the chat. We're going to say hi real quick before we get rolling. We got Phil Necro fan 35, first to the show. Brendan Ryan. We got Jason Everyday Card Collector. Yankee Kane. We've got Lonely Basement Keith. Sven. Classy Sports Cards Dane. We have got Andy. Dog Ate My Card Collector. Mike Jayhawker Vintage. Orlando. Always good to see you, buddy. What do we got? James Gillum, Jim Faulkner, Jason Mookie Chilson. This panel is amazing, John. Only booking men with glasses is smart. Okay. Should I wear my reading glasses? Will that make me look smarter?
I can't.
All right.
Yeah.
We got Jeremy. Welcome. Mike Good. David Peacemaker Cards. Mike Paulina, Peter B, Carlisle Rude, the battery, and we've got David Chase, ET Card Collector. Welcome all. So once again, we're going to be showing cards all centered around a theme, and you get to decide who won each round. So each person will show their card, briefly say why they chose it, and then we can all show our cards together, all four on screen, and the panel will the audience will be the judge. Who won, who lost, whatever. So it's all for fun. We all love cards. And to get things started, our first theme of the night is a card in which you have a personal connection. So to start things out, you were the first one to pop in. Aaron, you want to go first with your personal connection card?
Sure. I chose my 1955 Topps Hank Aaron. This was my, if not first significant vintage card period as a child. I was probably less than 10 when I got this. My mom picked this out, and it was because she liked the fact his last name was my name.
All right. All right, Jake, how about you?
Well, I guess that I don't know if I maybe misconstrued the question of personal connection, because the pick that I had is that the individual who's on the card is someone that I have sort of a personal connection to, as opposed to the card itself. So I'm debating if I should.
I did not define it, so you
Yeah.
can go either way, and the
All right.
audience can be the judge.
I'm going to stick with this then, and I was thinking of flipping it with my wild card, which is kind of a little bit closer to what Aaron picked. But I'll go with the actual personal connection, and this is a 1933 Gaudi of Irving Jack Burns. His name. So if you've seen this guy in some of these 30 sets, his name on all the cards is Irving Burns, but that's what they named. That's what I believe that was his given name, was Irving Burns, but everyone called him Jack. His name was Jack. And Jack Burns' son, Bob Burns, was my high school baseball coach. And Bob was his name. He was the coach at Kennett High School in Conway, New Hampshire for over 40 years. When I was a senior, he broke the all-time record for most wins in the history of New Hampshire high school baseball. And so when I was in my senior year, the sort of most, I don't know how it was defined exactly. They named the award for like I don't want to say best player, because I was definitely not the best player, but kind of like they would give an award at the end of the season to like a senior who kind of exemplified the sort of values of the team and all that kind of stuff, basically. And they named it the Jack Burns Award. In my senior year, I won the Jack Burns Award. So anyway, so this is his 33 Gaudi. He's in a few of these sets. He played for the Browns. Mostly he played 1 year with the Tigers. It was the year that Hank Greenberg got, because he was a first baseman. It was the year Hank Greenberg got hurt, so they needed a first baseman, so they went out and got Burns. That was his last year. So and he spent years. He worked for the Red Sox for decades. He was a first base coach and was a scout on the 67 AL championship team. So anyway, personal connection. I went with that one.
All right, thanks, Jake. Cool. How about John?
Yeah, hey everybody, and John, thanks again for inviting me on here for this. This was fun pulling out these cards, including this first one. This is actually going to be, I think, the only non-baseball card I'm going to show, and has a little bit of a serious side to it, or more than a little actually, but it has a very personal side too. So I gravitated to. I have a few cards that represent my alma mater. So I went to Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. And it's a combination of, like, it's a smaller college, but yet they have kind of Division I sports and a lot of sports. So it's sort of what I enjoy. But so anyway, I'm showing a vintage card here. 1951 Topps Magic, which was a college football set. And the player's name is Johnny Bright. Now, if you do not know Johnny Bright and his story, I highly encourage you to Google him and read about his story. It's pretty important, actually. Anyway, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate in the early 50s. I believe he led the nation 1 year in total yards from scrimmage, or maybe if you counted return yards, possibly too. So anyway, what I think is cool about this card is this is Drake Stadium in the background. The stadium, along with football, hosts the Drake Relays every year. The stadium goes back to like 1910. It's super old. But they modernized it and such. But I was the sports editor of the local, or the campus paper, and so I was on this field like 3 years, like covering a big track and field event with like big names from back in the day, which is kind of cool. But then also on the back. So here's the back. These were, I think they were scratch offs on the back to kind of answer the question kind of thing in terms of what school these athletes went to. And so this is the main library on campus, Cole's Library. And I actually worked in that library as a student employee for like 3 years. So when I saw this card, I was like, you know what, I got to pick this up. So anyway, it's kind of a personal card in that way for me. It reminds me of my college days in a lot of ways. But yet it's also one of Drake University's like kind of greatest student athletes of all time. So.
All right. Nice pick there. So for mine, my dad was a pretty good baseball player. He was one of 4 brothers, so they played sports all the time, and they all, excelled at baseball, especially. And midway through high school, he had to move from Chico, California to Red Bluff. And Red Bluff, when he started his junior year, the baseball coach was also the football coach. So he gave preferential treatment to football players to play. And since my dad didn't play football, he was riding the bench until one game when one of the football players that played third base got injured. He got to hit. His first at bat was at this field that did not have a back fence. He hit the ball so far, it kept rolling that he ended up with a home run and never left the starting lineup again. Ended up having the best batting average on the team his senior year. And mysteriously, that was the one year they did not give an award to the player with the best batting average. Because my grandfather was rather outspoken and would tell the football / baseball coach how stupid he was being with his choices. So, so my dad also did not then get attention from college scouts, did not get a chance to go, at that time period, we're talking 1966 was my dad's senior year. It was a regular thing in California, especially for people to get to where they'd even go to a junior college and they'd find them a job to play on the baseball team, because baseball was such a high profile sport at that point. But he was not getting sent over by this football coach and not getting that attention. So the opportunity he had to get attention was when he faced this pitcher who had scouts following him around his entire last 2 years of high school, who was from a nearby high school in the Central Valley of California. And that was Mr. Gary Nolan, who, if you aren't aware, was one of the starting pitchers during the big Red Machine era for the Reds, helped to win multiple World Series, was on track in terms of his performance to be a Hall of Fame pitcher. And I would say thanks to the fact that when he faced my dad did not fare well, it still allowed me to be born, because my dad did not get any attention from those scouts following around Mr. Gary Nolan. So thank you, Gary Nolan, for mowing my dad down at the plate. So
that's fantastic.
So, all right, let's round one. All right, who won? Let's hear it, chat. As we start into round two, which is a card with an iconic image. Aaron.
Well, and you guys probably know, I'm hoping I'm good on my definitions. I define card as ish. So iconic image.
Wow.
I thought I would go with the Quaker Oats of Babe Ruth. I just had somebody reach out and they were picking one up themselves. And I said, that's such a great one that it made me pull mine out and thought it fit here. So
damn, we have to go after that.
Yeah.
What's that?
We have to follow that up.
Yeah. Gosh.
All right, Jake.
Well, I think I picked a pretty good one. There's a couple players that I PC and collect all their cards or try to collect all their cards, and one of them is Ted Williams. And in my opinion, what's the best Ted Williams card? I would say that it's this. So 49 Leaf. I think Mike Junkwak's hero. A few other people have said that this card, he looks like a superhero, and given his stature as an American war hero and greatest hitter that ever lived. I also love this card because it's the only. This is my copy of this card. I have not. One of the things about the Leaf set is that the cards have the backgrounds can be very different colors. This is one of the only ones of this card that I've ever seen that's like magenta, which is kind of why I liked it. Yeah. But anyway, that's my iconic image.
Great card. There's a really nice looking one of those going in the current collector investor auctions, or was it in REA? I don't know. There's another one that's a 1.5 that has like a splotch on the back that gave it the 1.5. That's
I think that's REA.
Pretty like yours on the front.
Yeah.
So, John, you're up.
All righty. I just wanted to have a way to show this card tonight, just because it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite cards. It's become one of my favorite cards, like in the hobby, and I picked it up this year, and I'm really happy to own it. It's the Bill Terry from Gaudi. It's number 125. Just absolutely love this portrait. I call it a work of art. There's just something about the 33 Gaudi. The 34 Gaudi of this just doesn't hit quite as much to me as this one does. So I just think the fact that it was also a World Series winning year for the Giants with him as player manager kind of adds a little bit to the icon piece, I think, at least for Giants fans, maybe. Anyway, I just think it's a beautiful card. And, if it can be on a poster behind me here from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, it's good enough to call it iconic. So
that is a great card. And thanks to being familiar with that image, I knew once I had the Yingling of his in hand that it wasn't him.
Right. Yeah.
So I went with the classic photo of Roy Campanella. So
Beautiful.
1951 Bowman. So everybody's got to be familiar with that one. So all right, bring your cards back up.
I vote for Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how do you beat that one?
That's so
just
good.
happy to be on the playing field on this one.
Exactly.
Apparently some people like Jake, but
Well,
Yeah.
they're wrong.
Although I
That's a
like how
really
we
cool
have the
card.
last two 400 hitters.
That's
on
true.
camera
Yes.
At one time.
That's true.
That's kind of cool.
it looks like it's split between the Ruth and the Teddy ball game there. So, all right, number 3, I went for best looking card of an unknown player, and I know we're a whole bunch of card nerds, so it might not be unknown to us, but generally what you consider an unknown player. So, Aaron, let's see what you got.
That was tough. I took that as literal as I could, and this was the one I was agonizing over. Does anybody know who Tom Needham is?
I've heard of the name.
Yeah.
Doesn't really ring a bell, but oh man,
Yeah,
that is gorgeous.
It shouldn't. This is one of the very few cards I've ever purchased and just said, it looks too nice. I should probably have that.
That's cool.
This is what the T206 looks like. This is not a T206. This is the T213. So other than the fact that the ink is different at the bottom and the back's a little bit unique, but I just thought the image, you get old school catcher, anything is going to be amazing. So for me, that was
and then
what popped in my brain. Yeah, the colors, the catcher gear, all of it is just kind of fun and different. So I still haven't researched quite who he was or how good he was, but I love the card. So.
All right, Jake.
Well, yeah, similar era. I opted for a guy that I feel like might be a little bit more knowledge of him. Again, I collect a lot of Boston guys, a lot of Red Sox guys. This is my one Turkey Red, and it is of Jake Stahl.
Nice.
I can't quite get this without the glare because it's so large, but Jake Stahl. This is, you look at the background, it's sort of like factories in the background and just the great image of him. And Jake Stahl was the manager. He was a first baseman for quite a few years for the Red Sox in the sort of first decade that they existed. And then he left for a little bit and he came back. And then in 1912, he was the manager of the Red Sox while also still playing some first base. And so he managed he was the first Red Sox manager in the history of Fenway Park, and they won the World Series that year. And then he was I think he played part of one more year and then as a manager, and then he was fired. But this is this was a tough one, I thought, for me, but I opted to go for my one Turkey Red.
Gorgeous
That's a great
with the
card.
skyline there. Yeah.
It's amazing.
He has a very interesting story, Jake Stahl. Like he's on my player manager checklist. I hope to get. I'm looking at his T202. Is I want a T202 from that card to represent that set. He left the baseball. He left baseball and became like a banker or something.
Yeah.
And then came back into baseball.
Yeah, but he came back.
Very
they wanted him to
interesting.
manage.
Yeah. Okay. So
right,
I have a non-star, but I just think this is a really cool card of a pretty unknown player, and it's a 1956 Topps card, and the player's name is Wayne Terwilliger. So
Awesome.
Kind of a journeyman infielder, but I'm just going to talk about the card first. I mean, 56 has all these awesome illustration or kind of player renderings, and just that action shot to me is just so cool. I love how you're you're practically like in the on deck circle watching him slide home. It's just such a cool with the fans in the background. It's like a purplish tint to it too. So just like there's just a lot of I don't know. The action to me is really there in that shot. So I think it's a great card. One reason why I also have this card is he attended Western Michigan College, which is now Western Michigan University, and I kind of have a little not a goal or a real checklist, but I'm picking up some cards of players who went there because it's kind of the local university for me. So just another reason why I enjoy this card. But yeah, I just think that's such a cool shot.
That is a great action photo there, or illustration of a photo. All right, so I know I'm going to get one vote in the chat since he's not going to see four of them up here, but it is my most recent addition, courtesy of Trevor Blue Collar Cards, who's in the chat. And that's this Thurman Tucker.
That is
just
awesome.
A beautiful card. So, of a
that's a really cool card.
Nondescript player, one-time All-Star. So, all right, let's see them all. What do you think, chat? I have the feeling there's going to be an advantageous with that oversized turkey red, but a lot of people like the action shot from John there. So, all right. We are now to our favorite card of a non-Hall of Famer.
Okay. I've got a player that I kind of think could have and still maybe should have made it, and maybe he will now that we've done some changing of things, but I thought my Cracker Jack of Eddie Seacott is about as good as it gets. That's maybe my favorite of that entire set that I have. It's not the biggest card in the world, but I just think the image of him is fantastic, and his story, of course, is so significant that for me, when I think non-Hall of Famer, that's got to be where I go.
Nice one.
That's fabulous.
Thank you.
All right,
well,
Jake.
We're going to keep the theme going. Same set. And this, for me, this was an easy, very easy pick. Possibly my favorite card in my entire collection. It's my Cracker Jack Smokey Joe Wood. I kind of told the story of how I got this card on a recent Cardboard and Gold ones with Sammy and Jason. So I will spare people that story again, but this is just so it's a 1, which is amazing. And just the amazing story, starts out as a pitcher, blows out his arm, continues playing as a hitter, wins the World Series with the Indians, and just an amazing story. Just his talk about 1912 season, one of the best seasons that any pitcher had in the dead ball era. So I'm the proud owner of this card.
Nice.
Amazing.
All right, John.
I had a toss-up on this one. I brought 2 cards with me on this, but I had to make a choice, so I just did. I'm going. I had let's just say a modern, or not a junk wax era card, but an awesome card. But then I also have this one, and I'm going to show this one. I picked it up this year at the National. It's my Tattoo Orbit of Lou Fonseca. I just really like Lou Fonseca's story, or just his career in baseball, because it's unique. After a pretty good career overall, he won a batting title in the American League in 1929, I believe it was. Overall, pretty darn good hitter. Was player manager for the White Sox for a short time. Did not have much success. They were on a good team, but then after baseball, his playing career, he was the writer, producer, like narrator of like 20 years worth of World Series films. And so I just think that's like, he was really into film reviewing, kind of like, what he was doing, playing, and he was just one of the kind of early proponents of like kind of working, with film in the game. And so became a passion of his. So I just find that interesting. And it's just a really cool card. It's my only tattoo orbit, and I love having it. So
to me, that whole set just so pops visually with how striking it is. I mean, I've got the Billy Herman from the set, and that's one of the things that just pops off my wall. I feel like so.
They're cool cards.
Nice. All right. So this was my selection before I even owned a single vintage card, and I have not changed my mind. It is the biggest badass card in vintage ever. 57 Topps.
There we go.
Ted Blazewski. It's just, to me, it's like Paul Bunyan-esque. Just, I mean, it doesn't get cooler.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
I mean, I targeted this card from the moment I started buying vintage cards. So, and I still love it. All right, let's put them all up there.
My card looks relatively puny in comparison.
What do you say, chat? All right. We got a mix on that one. We got some votes for everybody, I saw. So, all right. Up
Good stuff,
next.
panel.
This one, I framed it as the pitcher that deserves more hobby love.
Yeah, I thought looking at his career as, a player, time he missed for military service. But I mean, taking that out, his career, I don't know why he's not just more sought after and a more prestigious item in every single set he's in. But I went with Warren Spahn. So I picked his tip top to represent kind of his early career, since he was missing. He kind of played for basically a few minutes and then went into military service for some years and then came back. And from there on, I mean, he was insanely dominant. So winningest left-hander ever. Really, if Cy Young Award existed, he would have had, far different resume, really. So.
Oh yeah,
No doubt.
To me, I think he needs way more love.
absolutely.
I agree.
All right, Jake, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I went with a guy that I think does get hobby love, and his cards carry a premium, but they don't necessarily carry a premium compared to some other guys from the era. And this is my 1928 Tharps Ice Cream Grover Cleveland Alexander. I mean, I think you could make an argument that he's, in the conversation for the best pitcher of all time. He goes in World War I and he comes back and he kind of develops, he gets shell shocked and has a drinking problem. But it's amazing when you look at it, like, because the numbers before that are absolutely ridiculous during the 1910s. And then he allegedly like struggles when he comes back, but if you look at his numbers, like all the years with the Cubs and then with the Cardinals, he still like puts up better numbers than just about anybody ever. And I think that when you look at like guys like Mathewson and Walter Johnson, like he's on the same level with those guys. And I think he is hurt by the fact that he doesn't really have a lot of, I guess, like what you'd call like signature cards, like other than I guess maybe his Cracker Jack. Like he's not in the TT06 set.
Yeah.
So I just feel like he doesn't get as much love as some of those other guys. I think that, you know, he has. I would say this, like if you're just going based off of numbers, if you look at his numbers versus Christy Mathewson's numbers, I think Grover Cleveland Alexander had a better career than Mathewson. But and you know, Alexander didn't start pitching until he was 24 in the big league, so he had a little bit of a disadvantage that way. But yeah, I just think he's somebody that he should be at the same level as those guys, and he just is not for various reasons.
If I owned a card of him yet, I would have pondered him. But so yeah, because I would say I totally agree with everything you just said. Where ranking overall, he's the closest thing to Walter Johnson.
Yeah, John, I realized that for one of the ones coming up, I forgot to grab a card, so I'm going to go and grab it right now. And I apologize, John. Go ahead.
Okay,
I will catch up.
Okay. So I went a little. I'm still in vintage with this one, but I went a little later in vintage, and I'm just surprised that he doesn't get. I mean, he gets love, but I don't think he gets enough, to be honest. And that's Jim Palmer. So I'm showing his rookie card here. I mean, I looked at his stats again earlier today. He won 20 games 8 times. He's an 8-time 20-game winner. Career ERA under 3. And the fact that he pitched for one team only, usually, if your whole career is at one team, that usually kind of gives, your, I think, hobby love a boost. And, maybe that boost is yet to come for him. But Jim Palmer, winning as pitcher, I think in the 70s, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but I think he is. And 3-time World Series champion. Guy has an amazing pitcher. He didn't quite get to 300 wins, but you look at his stats, the guy was great. So that's my pick.
And he could wear pantyhose like nobody else.
I wasn't going to go there, but yeah, he was all over the place there for a little bit in the late 70s.
But yeah, he is amazingly.
He was kind of like Joe Namath for a little bit there. He kind of like inherited.
He was put in that same box with being
exactly.
the sex symbol for the ladies. So, but all right, now this is a case of great minds here.
There we go. Nice.
Warren Spahn, missing over three full years. I mean, he would have had over 400 wins, assuming he played those, since considering how his career took off as soon as he got back from the war. I mean, he missed his early 20s and still phenomenal stats. I mean, in fact, the point about the Cy Youngs, I did a little digging into the MVP voting because there was no Cy Young during his 30s or 20s to 30s when he played, and he was the leading MVP vote getter among pitchers in 3 of those seasons. Mm-hmm. So he would have won at least 4 Cy Youngs. And additionally, if you look at when the Cy Young first started, they only gave 1 away for the entire major leagues, and he could have won 2 of them if they actually gave a separate one for the National League. So, he could have been like at least a 5-time Cy Young winner. So,
yeah, he had his amazing second act in his career. Like he had one arc early in his career, and then he had like a whole other even higher arc from the age of 38 to 42 or 43.
I mean, he had a Cy Young caliber year at 42 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, who does that? I mean, that's why people got so geeked out over Nolan Ryan there being that good in his 40s. He did the same thing. So, he just didn't throw the crazy fastball. But right. All right, let's throw him up there. All right. Obviously, Aaron beat me with a fancier card, but
you guys double up the votes.
Yeah, just vote Team Spawn. We're good.
Oh, I got all kinds of Jake votes. So
Yeah, it's a big time card.
I love that one.
all
Great
right,
player. Great player.
nice round there. So now we're going to deserves more hobby love as a player.
Okay. I think I was stuck in just that same era. Another player, I just did trivia the other day of 6 players that have a career average of 330 or higher and at least 300 home runs. There's 6 of them. Only 4 have done it with 400 homers and only with 500 or more homers. But when you start looking at the list of who's done it with, the 400 or more homers, it's Ruth, Ted Williams, who did I forget? Gehrig and Stan Musial. And I feel like Musial, when you look through his cards, he kind of gets priced almost like he's next tier, and he should be insanely elite. I mean, he is phenomenal. MVPs, runner-ups, all the stuff. I mean, just never really a home run champ guy, but doubles, triples, RBIs, runs, average was insane. There's Tony Gwynn with extra base power. It was crazy. So, and a good person.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right,
Well,
Jake.
I went with the similar era to what I did with Grover Cleveland Alexander, and I went with John. I believe that you have this card, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is the Miners Extra of Home Run Baker. So I've been there. You go, Twins. I just think again, not a lot of cards necessarily of his, but you just think about a guy who helped popularize the home run, and was this a really one of the first great third basemen in baseball, and played on an iconic team, and then played for the Yankees later on too. I just feel like he doesn't get enough love, I think, for how important he was, and the importance of the sort of teams that he played for, and again, his nickname was Home Run. It was, and the nickname came from something that happened in the World Series, but obviously also he led the league in home runs 4 years in a row and never hit more than 12 in a season. But helped popularize what ended up being kind of the thing that made the game so popular, especially with Babe Ruth following in his footsteps.
And the outfield fences were how far away, and the ball was how mushy.
Yeah.
So
he who knows what he would have done if he had been, more of an actual contemporary of Babe Ruth, and got to play more in the sort of 20s in that era potentially. But yeah, so he's my
when they went away from those ballparks with the massive outfields and all that. Yeah. All right, that is a gorgeous card. So
thanks,
John.
Well, the card I have isn't a very valuable card. It's not a very old card either, but I think this guy is just perennially, he's not overlooked, but he's just undervalued, and that's Frank Robinson. He's just, gosh, look at his stats. The guy was a stud. The guy was an amazing player. 2-time MVP. I went with this card only because, he didn't get to be the first black manager in Major League Baseball for nothing. He was already one of the greatest offensive players of all time, and obviously that helped his case to be able to to get in that role, which was a long way overdue. So I think this is an important card in several respects. I have a 1961 of his that I almost grabbed, but I grabbed this one instead. His first MVP was 61 with the Reds. But anyway, I just think Frank Robinson is, still not, of course he's in the annals of all-time great hitters, but I think I'm just always surprised that his values, that they're not as high as they, in my opinion, should be.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like for him, he can't somehow get to that inner circle of Mantle, Mays, and Aaron, just like Musial is stuck outside of the Williams DiMaggio sort of similar era, more so. Yep. But all right. So I went with a guy who was not only did not get enough love now, but shockingly did not get enough love when he was actually an active player. It's crazy. There was a recent YouTube video done that was really high quality as somebody's very first video. Basically, I think the title is the most underrated baseball player of all time. And this guy did not make all-star teams regularly, even though he should have. And he wasn't anywhere close to getting MVPs, even though he should have. But if you look at the stats, after the decline of Hornsby, he is the next great player of the National League, and yet he got no love even during his era. And I have him ranked as the third best shortstop of all time. And he gets completely ignored. His cards are dang near priced right next to the guys who barely made the Hall of Fame. And it is Archie Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It is shocking to me how he didn't even make most of the all-star teams, and he wasn't anywhere in the MVP voting. And his numbers are just phenomenal. You look at now, obviously they didn't have WAR back then, but his WAR just like jumps off the page for most of his seasons. And this is his 1939 play ball. So,
yeah, I believe that when Bill James updated his baseball historical abstract in 2000, he had Archie Vaughn second all time at shortstop behind Honus Wagner.
Yeah, I just put Ripken above him.
Yeah.
Now, so which Ripken wouldn't have finished his career by then. So,
right, yeah,
yeah. All right. So let's show our cards. All right. What do you say, those in the chat? All right. Up next, we are talking how the hell is this guy in the Hall of Fame?
Oh boy, I get to start this off, huh? So I debated. I will, full disclosure, I'm definitely a big Hall guy. I think everyone belongs in that is in. So that is my qualifier. I wasn't going to go after a guy that had low WAR and played a defense only position or something like that. So I went after a different angle. And I debated one of three people to put here. And I'm going to get some serious hate.
All right.
But
see you guys later. Good night.
there you go. I know, right? There it is. There it is.
Boston fans are going to revolt against you.
I know. I'm voted off. I get it. I'm done. It was fun meeting you guys. No, Ortiz, Ivan Rodriguez, Piazza, just enough of a cloud, enough of a question. And there's people that aren't in with steroid issues that are just as clean, but stronger rumors. I just, the more we kind of navigate through that, and I wonder what time is going to do. So I only picked that really to say we're keeping out the best pitcher, the best hitter, guilt, whatever lists. It just gets so confusing as to how you distinguish. Yeah, that guy clearly seemed to have been dirty versus that guy was rumored, but I feel okay about him. So I just went with the representation of that era, and I don't know how I feel about it either. But
well, Jason's glad you didn't show Harold Baines, so that's you can take that.
Baines is in. Baines is in. There's no drama with that. He's in. He's good.
Baines is in, but David Ortiz isn't. I am seriously going to jump off this thing. Are you kidding me with that? That's insane. That's absolutely crazy. Come on,
Boston fans. They're hung up on 2004 heroics, and
thank God. And 2007 and 2013.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. The only serious rebuttal I will have to what Aaron just said is I completely agree with him that I think all of those guys should get in that have the even more serious like steroid suspicion. But that's not David Ortiz's fault. I don't think it should be taken out on him personally, but anyway, I'm gonna stick with the Red Sox theme here. I'm gonna go with I'm going back in time, and I have Rick Farrell, catcher for the Red Sox. So what I thought was interesting when I did some research on this was that he actually did have some supporters in terms of like retrospective. Like Bill James said that he was the third during his era. He was the third best catcher in the American League behind Mickey Cochran and Bill Dickey. So that does count for something.
So I assume
However,
they took 3 All-Stars per year then.
I think they did, yeah. And his numbers if you look at his offensive numbers, they are quite pedestrian. I'm sure he was a really good catcher. He also like was on the ballot, the writers' ballot 3 times and got less than 1% each time. So the guys that like would have watched him play regularly didn't think he was a Hall of Famer, and he didn't get in until the 80s. So I think he's, I just kind of like went off the beaten path a little bit here because I think there are some more obvious guys, but he just, there are probably other guys, even catchers from the era that maybe deserve to be in instead of him. So I went with Rick Farrell.
All right. How about you, John?
All right. I was trying to find a player not named Harold Baines for this, and I was able to. And actually, I think Baines is, I think he's marginal. I'm a medium Hall guy, I think. I'm not a super small Hall guy, but I'm not a large Hall guy either, I don't think. And I looked at this guy's stats again earlier today, and I'm just surprised that Jack Morris is in the Hall of Fame. That's who I went with. The guy, 3.9 ERA, 3.9. He won 20 games 3 times. All right. He pitched 10 innings to win a playoff, got the World Series Game 7. I think he rode that all the way to the Hall of Fame. I really do. Even though he did win a title with the Tigers too. His whip is like almost 1.3 for the, I think it was 1.296. And his WAR, I think it was under 3. I think it was 2.8. So even Don Sutton has a higher WAR. CC Sabathia has a higher WAR. Take it what you will. So I'm a little, you look at it that way, and yeah, if the Hall's way big, then
Hall of Fame pitchers.
Yeah, he's kind of the Harold Baines of pitchers. Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
that was a big, a money pitcher. Don't get me wrong, but Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I feel like
honestly, his whole ticket got punched just because of that stupid Game 7 where Lonnie Smith should have scored the damn winning run.
Yep, the 10-inning shutout.
Yeah, and I feel like that is. I agree. I feel like that's most of the reason he's in is because of that game. Because if you look at his career numbers, it's just not there. So.
If Lonnie Smith was a better base runner, did not get juked out by Chuck Knobloch faking like the throw was coming in, he scores. The Braves win in 9 innings. I'm not better.
I'm sorry to resurrect that, rekindle that memory there for you, John.
It gets resurrected every time I see Jack Morris.
Okay. Well, the only time you see him for me tonight.
Yeah, he's on my wall over on the side here. So
he doesn't make the camera. Yeah.
All right. Another case of great minds. I have got a different set. 1936 Gowdy of Rick Farrell, which this one being a lesser known Gowdy set.
Yep.
Little paper loss there. So, when I get it to SGC of what might be my final ever order, it'll get a 1 or 1.5. But I pulled this one because one thing I thought was really interesting was the fact that his brother, who was a full-time pitcher, was a better hitter than he was. He hit 38 home runs versus his 26 in less than a third of the at-bats. His OPS overall was higher than Rick's. The best thing they could say about him on his Hall of Fame pack was that he is durable. And at the time, he set the record for catching the most games. To me, him being in bodes very well for Yadi Molina. So who is essentially a much better version of this. So, yeah, Rick Farrell. All right, everybody.
David Ortiz, come on. For a first ballot Hall of Famer shouldn't be in. Come on. What are we doing here?
No.
I'm going to have a bone to pick with you if I ever see you in person, Aaron.
Hey.
Oh, we got some Aaron. Some people vote for Aaron.
Nice.
All right.
Steroid drama. That's all.
And there we go. Steel CDW says Will Ferrell belongs in more than Rick Farrell.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, he did participate in
that
spring
thing
training
you did
a little
alone,
bit, right
Mike,
there.
where you went to like how many parks in one day?
Yeah.
That should get you in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. All right. Our next category is a Hall of Fame snub.
All right. I thought I'd go with a guy that's been snubbed for as long as you can possibly be snubbed. Parisian Bob.
Great.
Bob Carruthers, the original excellent hitter and excellent pitcher. What was I think he had a 2.81 ERA and a 282 batting average. So absolutely phenomenal. Was elite pitcher and also excellent hitter in his day. So to me, I think we kind of had a back and forth. He definitely had 9 years of pitching, but I think he did come back for one additional year where he did nothing but hit. So I think he does have his 10 years of major league service. And I mean, Carruthers, this is a 18 something card. So I mean, his case has been made for 150 years almost, and he's still not in. So I don't know if he's going to have a chance or not, but his career WAR is solid for 10 years. I think he was almost 60 WAR for whatever that stat's worth. But yeah, for a guy to have, a 20-game winner multiple times and then also have, elite hitting statistics is pretty amazing.
I'd have to think it's unlikely for anyone pre-war that's not a newly eligible person with the whole, lifetime ban being over now person. So,
yeah. Well, and they changed the rules again recently. So now there's only so many times that you can actually be considered by one of the committees. Like I think it's twice and then you're off. So, but I think guys are grandfathered in from the past if they could still get it potentially 2 more times. All right. Well, again, staying on Red Sox theme. This was the card that I forgot to grab. I actually wanted to get my a different card of this player, but I had this one handy because of the project I'm working on. But it's a 75 Dwight Evans. I do have I have a 74 that's nicer than this, but I have to go digging for that. So as far as he goes, 8-time Gold Glove winner, right fielder, and also additionally a great hitter. 385 career home runs. He had more career home runs than Harold Baines, Larry Walker, Jim Rice, Orlando Cepeda, Tony Perez, Todd Helton, Dave Parker, Ron Santo, and then more career WAR just in terms of other outfielders that are in the Hall of Fame than Duke Snider, Andre Dawson, Richie Ashburn, Dave Winfield, Billy Williams, Vlad Guerrero, Willie Stargell, Jim Rice, Dave Parker. Like, he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I hope that they put him in while he's still alive, because I'm sick of these guys getting in when they're either dead or close to dead. So please put him in.
I guess I have a question for you. Do you think he deserves to be in more than Jim Rice?
Yeah, I do. I mean, he was just a better all-around player. I mean, Jim Rice was not a great left fielder. He was, I think, good early in his career. But Dwight Evans was like the best defensive right fielder in the American League for like 10 years. And he was
I agree for the same reasons.
Almost 400 home runs. And just you look at the other guys that are in, like, he should be in. So,
I mean, Rice almost appears on the how is he in the Hall of Fame list even. So.
I don't disagree with that, honestly. Like, there are other guys that are more deserving than Jim Rice to be in.
All right, how about John?
All right. I mean, just to stay on that for one quick second, I think they both deserve to be in. So I'll put it that way. So
maybe your medium hall just got a little bigger.
No, not really. No, I think Dewey Evans should be a Hall of Famer. My dad, I'm also a little partial. My dad was a Red Sox fan, and he really liked Dewey Evans. But we're gonna go with the Yankee here because I feel like we need equilibrium here. I got to return it to let's get up to New York, and this is my guy, Thurman Munson. I think many will say he just didn't play long enough, but I'll always say this: when Buster Posey comes up for election, look up Thurman Munson's stats; they are remarkably similar. And if you also count in the postseason comparison as well, it's So overall, like in areas where maybe Posey's a little bit ahead, it's not by much. And in areas where Munson's a little bit ahead, it's not by much. I think Posey's going to get in the Hall and possibly on the first ballot, actually, because of those 3 world championships. And just, he just had he had a solid career, and he was kind of, he was just sort of an ambassador for the game in some ways. And so I think Munson's case still has a chance to be made in the years to come. We'll see. But I think Munson's, I think he's deserving, and he's my guy for this round.
You got some agreements. You got some people even saying Munson destroys Posey, but yeah, analyzing them, it's eerily similar. How they're
remarkably similar, from the Gold Gloves to the WAR, all that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, accolades even matching.
Number of hits, the years they played. I mean, they play 11 and 10. I mean, it's
And Posey played quite a bit of first base too. That's another thing, and that's another thing that helps Munson, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, but death or ended versus injury riddled. So, yeah. All right, I went with an ultimate homer pick on this one. I'm going with Mr. Dale Murphy with his one of the most iconic air cards of all time here with the 89 upper deck reverse negative. And, when you have a guy who is in the conversation for best all-around player for most of a decade, I'd say like 80 to 87, how is that not a Hall of Famer? I know he declined early. For some reason, the center field, outfield in Atlanta makes people decline early. We had Murphy, we had Andrew Jones, but they both deserve the Hall of Fame.
I agree. Andrew Jones should definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
So I think he's going to get in.
Yeah.
But 398 home runs, unfortunately, but they were playing in massive concrete donuts that weren't very conducive to home runs during that decade. So were they really weaker than players later? Or was the ball not as juiced and the parks were a little bigger? So, to lead the league and with 33 home runs, that was crazy. I mean, it had to be some kind of conditions involved. So,
yeah, I mean, those 3 years where he won MVP back-to-back or
won back-to-back in 82 and 83.
Yeah, I was like 10, 11 years old. I mean, he was like, one of the top 5 players in the game, if not the best for a bit. Yeah, I mean, for that short window, he was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, the short list in the early part of the decade would have been him with Mike Schmidt.
Yep.
And then later you might throw Ricky Henderson into the mix, and then obviously Mattingly at the tail end more of the 80s. So, but to be in the conversation, the best all-around player for that long, how do you not tell the story of baseball with somebody that fits that category?
And he absolutely was in that conversation, no doubt about it.
So, all right, let's put him back up. We got a write-in vote for Steve Garvey. I always hated that guy.
Yeah, I think I think I had the same conversation on my channel with eBay in the comments. I just think Garvey gets hurt for I think the same reason that Mattingly gets hurt, which is just being a first baseman that didn't hit for a lot of power.
We got one comment. Dale Murphy is to hit in the 80s as Jack Morris is to pitching in the 80s. I would almost argue that
Wow.
Dave Stieb is a guy that is more deserving.
Yeah,
But-
Dave Stieb had a great career.
Yeah.
He was a good pitcher. Yeah.
Also a short prime. So
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing I always say about Baines is like, and it's the same thing with Jack Morris. Like, Jack Morris was a great pitcher, and Harold Baines was a great hitter. But like, it sucks for me that those guys got in the Hall of Fame, because the conversation about those guys is how they don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, and it takes away from the actual accomplishments those guys had. Harold Baines, you did not want him up as a Red Sox fan in the '90s. I did not want that guy up late in the game with guys on base. Like, he was gonna get a big hit. And Jack Morris was a great big game pitcher for sure. And it's too bad. It's too bad that the conversations around these guys devolve into like, well, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. And so for that reason, it's almost like you almost wish some of these guys aren't in the Hall of Fame, because then they'll be part of that conversation too. But,
yeah, because it's a lot more reverent when they're like, "Oh, that guy's snubbed."
Right.
But all right, this one I went for 2 or more guys on one card.
All right. Well, I picked out what is my image for my channel, because I could never show that enough. So 1927
that's great.
Cuban issue. So I went with the Ruth and Hornsby from the 1926 World Series image together. So I think that's just the coolest thing in the world. So this was one that when I finally saw it in auction that I just went all in on. And to me, it's probably the only time they're on a item together. I can't think of another time they would be. So
That's just unfair.
for me, that was where I went. I kind of interpret card as just different maybe than other people. It's not a top loader. I thought that's a top loader, but
I mean, still, our community calls those cards. So
Absolutely. They gotta. If Jefferson Burdick said it was a card, then it's a card. Right. All right. I went with what I think is the best in terms of sheer star power, the best leader card ever, and it's the 60 from 66 Topps, the 65 batting leaders with Clemente, Aaron, and Mays on it. Now, I do wish that Willie Mays wasn't looking down in his picture, but again, this is like the most star power in one. 3 absolute legends at the top of their game at this point. All of them. Mays, I think, is the MVP in 65. Clemente's a year in 66. Clemente wins the MVP. Aaron plays as an MVP level for 20 straight years. So I love this card. I was so happy to get this card a few years ago.
yeah. 3 biggest National League stars of that decade by
Exactly. So
by a long shot. So
Awesome card. All right, I brought 2 cards in here with me, and I had to make a decision, and I just did. I'm having this card. I want to represent in this video the enjoyment I get from through the mail autographs. And so I have a couple of dual. I think I have 3 actually of dual autograph cards from both players, and here's my favorite one. 1976 Topps, MLB leading fireman Goose Gossage and Al Roboski. So I just think that's a really, really cool card. 2 interesting personalities on the hill.
Mad Hungarian.
Mad
He was a
Hungarian.
character.
Goose.
So I had Roboski sign it first, and I believe he was free, and then I sent it out to Gossage. I believe he's only $10. So I was really, really psyched to have this dual signed by both of these guys. I mean, it's almost a beater. It's not quite a beat up card. It's a VG at best kind of. It's not a big deal. It's just about the signature. So absolutely love this card.
I mean, I only caught the tail end of his career there in the early 80s, and he was still a nut job when he
Well, I know him more, and only saying kind of in terms of like didn't really see him pitch live on TV a lot, but I do remember more on the Royals during those ALCSs against the Yankees. So, and I know in one of them Reggie took him deep after he kind of did his shtick to get ready, and then Reggie took him deep in a playoff game.
I mean, it's basically like the Hulk, where it's like I'm always angry. I mean, it's how we approach pitching.
Maybe Hulk Hogan got his mustache from him. Maybe he was inspiration.
So, all right. I veered off course a little bit compared on this one. So, because I didn't think I had a card that had two more iconic people on it than this one. And we went to basketball with
Ooh, nice.
It's officially a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar card, but it's Wilt Chamberlain there guarding him. And this is
Awesome.
from the 73, 74 Topps set. So back when they did a weird thing that year where they didn't have separate all-star cards, and anybody that made the all-star team had a different design from everyone else. But yeah, Wilt Chamberlain
cool.
and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Very cool.
So, all right, everybody, bring him up so Aaron can get all his votes.
Yeah, Aaron kicked us out on this one.
Hey, I want a couple of
That's
votes
so
for
cool.
mine.
All very, very cool.
Yeah, actually, for all different reasons. Like, yeah, these are four very cool cards.
We are seeing other votes there. Okay. Yeah, I would have voted for Aaron on that one. It's tough to top the two legends of that era. All right, now this one, hopefully we get enough screen resolution so people can see what we're talking about with what we've got. I asked people to pick a card where they have no idea why the grade is so low. So, Aaron, what you got there?
Yeah, this was tough. I pulled this one out again because every time I look at it, I'm like, there's got to be something I'm missing, and I think it's just, and it's a really old cert number, but I've got a T206 of Vic Willis. This is, I think they designated as the throwing image. It gets, I know it's kind of tough with glare and stuff. It gets a 2. I mean, even the corners are crisp. I can assure you from holding this
screen on this category here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, good idea there, John.
I can't seem to really see
card.
Wow.
Like even the corners. I mean, I can't find a crease. There's no hole. There's no paper loss. There's no. Like if this was a 4, I would have said that's kind of harsh. Why isn't it a little bit higher? But somehow they slapped a 2 on it. And
someone was asleep at the wheel grading that card.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe someone said that's too nice, and they're like, 2? Okay. All right. I don't know. Yeah, I can't figure that out. Yeah, I think that's multiple grades low.
There we go. PSA head grader is Stevie Wonder. So thank you, Chris C, for the comment there. All right, Jake, what you got?
Well, mine is like less that why is it graded so low, and more just I don't understand the grade. And it's so again, same set. It's my Ed Walsh, and it's one of these ones that you can see that there's a crease here and there's a crease here, but it got the color added, and it's one of these ones where I do not understand where the color added is. Like I would think, so the thing is, like if this got a numerical grade, it would probably get a 1. It would maybe get a 1.5. But I don't. I've looked this thing over and over, and I don't like. It's one of the more confusing, authentic designations that comes from SGC is the color added, because there are a lot of times where I do not understand where I don't see it anywhere on the card where there's color added. Now it helped me. I ended up getting this card for cheaper because of that, but. I feel like if I cracked this and sent it in again, maybe it would get a number grade. But I'll take it because
have you experimented with the black light on it?
I might do that. Yeah, I haven't done that, but that might be helpful. But anyway, I love the card, but it just doesn't that grade just doesn't make sense to me.
Because that's where you can sometimes see the different luminescence on it. in those kinds of cases. So, all right, John, how about you?
All right. I've got a 60s card here, so it's not a tobacco card, but I picked this up at the National a couple of years ago. I mean, it's not a. I could see why it's well, I don't see why it's a 2. Let's put it that way. 1968 Topps Pete Rose. There is a small dimple on it, but I don't know. Like, to me, that doesn't make it a 2. The corners on this are really, really, really nice. I don't know if they're razor sharp, but they're pretty sharp. It's off center top a little bit, but this is a really nice card. Centering left right's pretty good. Here's the back. Maybe there's something obvious to it that I just don't see, but I really think this is a really nice, a nice 2. So sorry for the glare on this one. It seems like it's not coming through too great, but the corners are just really, really nice. And the image overall is good. There's a little dot like right here that I don't know if that's paper loss or not. And if it is, then that's probably the reason. But to me, it's not conclusive. I can't tell if it's a print dot or paper loss. I just can't tell. Even, under power, at least I don't have a loop. I just use my phone camera and zoom it in. And I don't know. Overall, I just think it's a really cool, a really nice card that I got at a nice price from a collector standpoint, given the grade. So, yeah, that's what I have for you on this one.
All right. Nice one. All right. As it turns out, have the highest graded card of this bunch, but I don't know if you can see it very well behind me right now. I've got a 59 Topps Bill Mazeroski that I bought raw and turned out to get a 7. And this card here, I don't see much of a difference in quality. And yet it is graded a 4.
Yeah,
that centering is like dead on.
Yeah, it's great for a 59.
And the back,
pretty nice.
I did buy this one graded, so I did get the 4 discount. It was a little bit, at the high end of the range of what 4s go for. But
yeah,
damn,
that's a tough grade there.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like,
the coloring, the black color looks really, really good too. Like, in terms of, I don't see any snow on it or fish eyes even. I don't know, at least not at first glance.
To me, the quality of this one and the one that ended up getting a 7 look very. I can't even tell the difference. So,
oh hey, that was a great find.
Oh yeah, when I saw this one go up for sale, it was on my watch list, and I'm like, zoomed in. I went straight to SGC to get the high res images, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So, bye. So, all right, everybody, let's show them. All right, beautiful cards all around. All right, let's keep it going. We are now on to rarest card. And, the only thing we can even glean is, by population reports. But I know all of you raw enthusiasts, they're not all graded. But it's the best measure we have at this point. So it is what it is. So.
Yeah, I had a couple that were 1s, but I disqualified them because I know they're not legit 1s. This is technically a pop 0. This doesn't exist according to PSA and SGC. So the fact that I have a pop 0 in my hand is point of that. But I thought I'd go with
how much it costs to get those things graded, but
Yeah, well, with what that one cost, I think you'd have no problem
sure.
investing to do that. This one I thought was fair. This is a population of 2, and this is the highest of the 2 graded. So if the other one ever comes for sale, I will buy it, and I'll have all of them and control the entire world. It's a 1921 Herpelsheimer.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, these are pretty tough. There with the recent find, I was checking to see if there was any Sisslers in the group, and there was not. So from what I understand, everything that's been found has been sent in if it's a Sisler. So as of now, I think it is a legit population of 2. So this one's a 4.5. I think the other one's a 1.5, I believe. So it's one of 2.
That's one of the things I hate in that era. Those cards are cool, but then there's all these different stat backs making them, then each of them rare, and so they cost too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get a Herpelsheimer though, given it was in Western Michigan and Grand Rapids. So that'd be cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, I have 2 of them,
Awesome
which is
card.
cool. So.
Yeah.
All right, how about you, Jake?
So I went for a recent auction win, and I realized that I feel like I don't think I really have anything that's like under 10 pop, but this was I think was around a total pop of 14, and this is the Morinaga stand-up of Japanese baseball legend Shigeo Nagashima. And this is from 1964. It's just like I said, it's a stand-up. The PSA population on this card is 4. And I believe the SGC population, it's obviously it's a little weird. Sometimes their pop reports are wonky. I think it's somewhere between 5 and 10 in SGC. So probably in the around maybe 10 to 14 range in terms of the total graded population of this card. It's a beautiful image. I have the Sadaharu O from this set as well graded that I think had a slightly higher population. So I went with the Nagashima.
Cool.
Very cool.
All right, John.
So interestingly enough, I just I think the card that I had lowest pop of, I just consigned it to REA actually, and so it's in New Jersey now. It's going to go in the auction in November. It was a T205 of Richard Hobblesole and a cycle back, and it was SGC 5, and it was pop 4 for SGC anyway. So I mean, I don't know how true that is because PSA doesn't count for different brand backs, but so I'm going with this one. It's not quite as low as Aaron's and Jake's, but it's pop 37, 24 for PSA, 13 for SGC. I just checked SGCs and PSAs, and it's this 1960 McGregor of Willie Mays.
Nice.
That I love having in the collection. It's my only big slab I got to show tonight. But yeah, I picked this up from Mike, Baseball Collector, a couple of years ago, and really glad I did. I absolutely love having this. So that's what
Those are cool.
That's a PSA 5, and yeah, just a cool image.
All right.
Yeah, blank back if people aren't familiar with them. So yep.
Well, mine is a pre-war strip card that looks very much like the E121 American Caramel set, and those ones are much more plentiful, but they sell for a lot more, even though these ones, there's barely any of them. And this would be a W575-1 of Mr. Edgar Charles, better known as Sam Rice. And there are 7 graded with SGC and 4 with PSA. While the very similar looking E121s, there's like 100 and something. So, but yet this I purchased for $77, and those other ones go for more like 200. So, because the American Caramel, that's one of the funny things you get with pre-war is blank back strip cards go for cheap. Anything with an ad back sells for a whole lot more, even if there's a lot more of them, which in the case of Aaron's, those ones are rare, but yeah, the American Caramels are fairly plentiful in the pre-war world. So
That's a cool card, but SGC did you wrong there on the slab.
They did. This one is got the big baggy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
I have a couple like that.
sucks, but
Now, if Brent was still there, he could probably hook you up, say, yeah, we got you, send it back. But now I'm not so sure.
no. When I did fix my Thai cob that was similarly bagged, and they made me pay for it because I bought it that way. You know, in case if I send it for grading and they send it back to me that way, then I'd have a case to get it fixed for free. But yeah, I decided I don't know, the black felt behind it still makes it look black when it's in the case at least. But yeah, it does look crappy with that massive gap.
They're just usually spot on with that. I'm always surprised that they got the right insert for this card and that card. So
they are not so spot on with that all the time lately. So yeah, hence this guy.
Right.
Yeah. But all right, let's show them.
Yeah.
Nice cards. All right. Who does everybody like in the chat? All right. Next category. We are going for colors here with the next few choices. To start things off, we are going with red.
Okay. Are you skipping the one?
Yeah, you skipped.
I skipped a card, didn't I?
Yeah, we're not. Yeah,
oh, wait.
that's
sorry.
fine. But
Sorry. This one would be this card is shot up in price, and I'm glad I bought it when I did. It's the category. Sorry.
Yeah, glad I bought it when I did. Mine is easy because I actually bought it when it shot up in price. I don't know what happened. This thing, it's a home run derby of
expensive.
Ernie Banks. One of these went in auction probably a couple months before this one went, and it went for darn near twice what I got this one for. I literally put in like the snipe bid and said like, all right, I'll go close to where the other one was. I think that one went a little aggressive, and it just ended. And I kept looking. I'm like, this, did it fail? Like, did something get logged off? No one else bid. It just ended. So I think I got this for $600-700 light of where the last one had sold. So I'll take it.
Nice.
Got my Ernie Banks to match my shirt.
nice.
Sweet.
So a couple of years ago, I built the 59 set, and the big card from that set is one of the big cards is the Gibson rookie, and this isn't a PSA 4. How I ended up getting this card was I won a mixer break. I won a big card in a mixer break. I don't do a lot of breaks anymore, but I won a Carlton rookie, a Steve Carlton rookie in a PSA 7, and the buy-in for that was $65. And that card was valued at the time around $400. So I traded that card plus $200 in cash to get this card. So I was $265 into this card. And right now the VCP average on this card is 800. So I feel pretty good about that. And I love this card. So
Nice. All right. What do we got, John?
Okay. I think this is going to be it's probably going to be the only modern card I show in the whole video, in the whole stream. I don't think I've shown a modern one since yet. But anyway, I'm showing this Aaron Judge rookie autograph from 2017. Excuse me, Topps Tribute. I picked this up. So my birthday's in February, and I've been every card you buy is basically a birthday present for yourself. But basically, I've bought a Yankee autograph around my birthday for the last few years. And in 2022, February, I bought this card for about $200. And just with tax and shipping, I think it was just over. And that was, that fall he had broken the home run record, won his first MVP. And now he might win his third MVP in a few weeks. And this card is pretty much like 4x'd at this point from what I've seen on sales. Now I don't have it graded, but ungraded, it's 600 to 800, 800 plus. So it's, yeah. Here's the back of it, but it's numbered to 99. This one's green parallel. So that's what partly drew me to it too, was the numbering. So, but I got back in the hobby in 2020, so I missed the window of the rookie years for those big guys in the late teens. But I really wanted to have some kind of a Judge rookie, and I went for that one a few years ago.
Nice. All right. I bought this one about a year ago was actually a good bargain at the time because it was a badly timed auction for $500, where it could have probably gone for as high as 600 at that point in time. But now I've been seeing that they are selling for over 800 and even peaked out at 925 in this grade. And that is this card right here.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
So love it. So all right, let's show them, guys.
We got 4 bangers right here, folks.
Oh yeah. All right, what's your favorite in the chat? All right. I guess I already gave away the next category. We are on to the color of red.
Red. All right. I think this is my reddest red, and it's one of my oldest reds. That's a black swamp find. It's got to be. It's an E98.
Yeah.
It's graded as an 8. It's Mordecai Brown. So if I was going to have one, I want to get 3-finger brown. But yeah, for an E98 red, that is about as red as it gets. So that would do the job. So yeah, it looks ridiculous to see something that old that clean, but
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I actually went with a card of the same player, and that's my E96 3-finger brown. Just love how deep the color is on this. And my favorite thing about this card is you can see his hand.
That is exactly why I'm targeting that one.
I love this card.
3-finger brown representative eventually. So,
So
you can see his mangled hand. Nice one. All right, John.
Sorry, let me get this one out of the sleeve. So I'm going with probably my big pickup. I made a few big pickups at the National this year, but and 2 of them were red actually, and I'm showing this one. It's my Red Heart of Stan Musial. I just absolutely love this card. I mean, it's in a 2, but the color on it is just fabulous. That red is really, really, really solid. So yeah, just absolutely love having it. It's part of it was a key card in my not a little checklist. It's like a 16-card checklist of getting all the 1954 Hall of Famers who are not in the top set. And I need 2 of them at this point. So that's
Gorgeous
my card.
All right. I'm going to go 55 tops again. I like the graduated red across this Al Kaline card.
that is so nice.
So
Yuri won his batting title. Youngest to ever do it.
all right, let's see all these red cards together. And who's the chat like the best? John P gets a vote. We got, I think a lot of people love that Musial.
I was considering this for my iconic card as well.
Aaron gets another vote. Dylan is in the house. He loves all cards, so I think he votes for everybody every round.
Thanks, Don.
All right. John P is getting more votes there. Lots of fans of that Stan card. All right, we are now to the color orange.
Well, I didn't even think about it. I should have disqualified myself here. I stayed in the same set. What am I doing? That's terrible. This is a somewhat new one.
what a terrible card, Aaron.
Well, I no diversity. I disqualify myself for that. Yeah. So orange, I went with Christy Mathewson. So his seemed to be extra tough to find, and that's more true to form of what they should look like. I think for that era, that Mordecai Brown's an outlier. This is what they should look like. Been handled.
That's still gorgeous.
Thank you. Orange, I thought that was a good orange. So happy to have that one.
It's a great card. I love how it's like it gets a little darker further down, a little gradient there. Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool.
Sammy Thunder got that card at the National this year, and it was a beauty too. So
yeah.
All right. How about you, Jake?
All right. I've got to go. And again, tried to be diverse in my picks and didn't go with any of the, tried not to do multiples of one player. And the other guy at PC besides Ted is Yaz. So I decided to go with my Yaz rookie for this.
There's a classic.
Yeah. It's I like this one. The centering is not great on this, but I think one of the good things about this one is that the roller marks are not as bad on this. I feel like it's almost impossible to find this card without like the roller marks. And they are there, but you have to look really closely to see them. So I love this card.
Well, you get a really sharp, crisp image and good color with the lower grade thanks to the OC.
Right.
So
I'm going for this round with Yaz's predecessor, and that's Teddy Ballgame.
Nice.
54 tops, card number 1. So the centering on this card is really good and helped to get the 4. The corners are pretty rounded, but the centering really, I think, had it going for it. So, I really love this card of Ted.
Another classic.
Yeah, love the swing pose too. The swing shot, I should say.
All right. I went with a classic set with 1933 Gaudy with this Carl Hubble.
Awesome.
Very cool.
What a card.
Always loved the color on that one. So, and you gotta love the Hubble little kick. This pose, that similar sort of looking pose on many of his cards. So, all right. Let's see all the orange cards here. It's not yellow, Dan. It's orange. Come on, look at that.
Trying to get the least amount of glare.
Just because it's not dark orange. It's more of a, Tennessee Vol orange, right? I don't think we have Tony in the house though, but all right. Beautiful cards. We are now on to yellow.
All right. I am sticking with something in that realm. I went with Cy Young this time. About people wanting a Cy Young. He was Cy Young every year.
I love the cards from this era of the pitchers hitting.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me.
Yeah. Walter Johnson's got a couple of them like that. Yeah, it really is. It's cool. Like you're talking about, Wes Farrell was a good hitter. I think some of these guys, Walter Johnson was a pretty good hitter. I don't know if Cy Young was a good hitter or not, but I feel like back then they got enough chances because they started every couple days. So they guys hit a lot.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. There weren't that many good hitters, right? It was the dead ball era. So
yeah.
Sure.
Maybe not for power.
So this card doesn't have technically a lot of yellow, but it's one of my favorite. It's actually it's my favorite card that I've had for the longest, and it was my 72 Willie Mays. This was I've had this card for over 30 years. I got it graded a couple of years ago. And this was my only playing days Willie Mays card that I had when I was a kid. So and it got a 6. But this was always my favorite card, my most cherished card as a kid. So
That's a great card. I would
Really
say to
cool.
suggest somebody as a starter vintage card.
exactly. This is his last card with the Giants, right?
Right.
So like the next year, 73 is with the Mets, and
Yeah, because
He has
nobody would want the card with him on the Mets, right, Mookie? So
ooh, shots fired.
All right. This was my way to get Jackie Robinson in this conversation for me. So I'm going with 54 again. 54 tops Jackie Robinson. Love this
nice.
card. It's definitely got its flaws, but I really, really love it. It's my first Jackie Robinson, so I'll always treasure it in that regard. So that's what I got for you on this one.
All right. I'm going to stay with the same set as you, John, and give us Willie
Okay.
Mays.
Couple Willies.
So,
I mean, I absolutely love that card. I think I managed to not repeat a player actually in this whole thing, I think.
all right, let's get all the yellows on the screen. And no, folks,
Cards,
taunting me. I'm
folks.
not going to show the same card from the last round. Is there a streak there of yellow on the Hubble? Yes, but it's all orange going up.
They're still talking about that?
All right. Up next, we are to green.
Green. Okay. What's really funny is I'm discovering all my colors are all pictures. I don't know how that worked out. And so far we're sticking very caramelly, but
Oh,
I went with the E95 blank.
what a card.
And yeah, it's that fading of colors. You get the intense green and some softer greens all within that. But yeah, other than maybe T206, I think this is maybe my favorite blank. I don't know. Orange Borders is awful good too, but that's where I decided to go. I think a lot of these too, it's the contrast when you get his uniform is so plain that makes the color really just completely look that much more extreme. So
Oh, yeah. All right. How about you, Jake?
Okay, Theo, here you go. You said you wanted to. The last one you said you wanted to see Clemente, so here's a Clemente.
All right. We got Theo out there, so you got at least one vote.
I adore this card. Yeah, what else is there to say? It's classic. And it's, like John showed the K line from the same set, the fading of the color from one side to the other. So yeah, I love it.
All right. What you got, John?
All right. I really like this card. And I really like it partly because of the flip as well. The old SGC flip just enhances the green on the whole visual experience that much more. So it's the green tint, green variation or green color for the batter up 34 of Mel Ott.
I love it.
And
Very
I
cool.
really, really love this card. And I don't know, I think the flip makes it that much cooler to me. So, but it's, a cool card all the same. Let's just forget the flip. If I can get it off camera there. There's the card. It's a really, really cool swing pose of them there. I think these batter ups are awesome. I've got a Jimmy Fox one as well, and I have my eye on a couple of others that I'd love to add. So it's in a 3, SGC 3, and yeah, I really, really
Honestly,
enjoy it.
I find them as having the best quality and clarity of photography of
the images are
that
fantastic.
That decade. I mean, they look great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the NY on his cap. I mean, it's pretty clear. Yeah, they're great pictures.
Play balls later in 39, they're downgrade in terms of generally the focus and clarity of the cards.
Can be for sure, yeah.
So, all right, it's my turn, and I am going with the only Hall of Famer in this portion of the 34 Gaudy set. That is the saying Chuck Klein says, and we have got Kai Kyler.
That is the correct pronunciation.
Background there. I always loved. Get a little bit of a Christmas effect with the red on that card. So if I had a Christmas theme, this would fit there, but I didn't have one. So all right. Let's show all of our green cards.
Man, so nice. All of them.
Yeah, well done.
All right. What's the chat say? I know what Theo's going to say.
I bought Theo's vote.
Basically. There we go. Jake is actually won the whole show, and Don is colorblind. Thank you.
It's over.
Poor John. Poor John. Oh, man.
All right. We are now on to blue.
Blue. I finally got out of the caramels. Went to Venezuela.
Red
yes.
Dorado.
Oh, it's awesome.
Sweet.
I went with Satchel.
That's so
That
great.
thing is sharp.
That's great color and clarity on that one.
Yeah, it's a 7. No, it's got the normal back,
Yeah,
so
the back
it's still
tapped on, yeah.
yeah, it's still a 1, but yeah, you buy them for the front and pray for the back, and it turned out perfect for me. So
I mean, honestly, that's where you love it. You love scrapbook cards because the fronts are so gorgeous.
And look how crazy. Everywhere that's damaged, I can still read the whole thing if I was able to actually read that. But it's damaged like ideally. That's how I would design the card to be damaged. So yeah.
There you go.
That's my blue.
All right, Jake.
All right. So this is I think this might be the only Yankee that I picked. And it's a Mookie special. It's definitely one of my favorite cards. It's my Red Heart Mantle.
Oh, that's gorgeous. That's
Awesome.
If I was willing to spend more for a mantle card, that would have been my pick instead of the 1960 that I own.
Yeah, I adore this card. It's so great. But yeah, it's got great color, great image. The whiteness of his teeth really comes out amongst the blue in the back and everything. Like it's so awesome. I just love this card.
You'd think Red Heart was a toothpaste company.
Right.
All right, John, how about you?
All right. Well, I'm sticking with the Yankees there, keeping that theme going, and I'm sticking with 54 tops. For the color categories, I just gravitated to 54 tops. So I'm going with arguably my favorite card in the whole set, and it's Whitey Ford. I just really, really love this card. The sky blue background is just part of the reason I do. That is it might be my favorite shade of blue. I mean, I've got a blue Fitbit that kind of matches it. So
Nice.
I do really like the blue on those, like on the Spawn that I showed earlier. Yes.
look at the wall. Look at my wall background. It's the same shade of blue. I just gravitate toward the shade of blue. Anyway, that's, I mean, I love the New York print on the road jersey. I love them holding the ball, but I really like that blue as well. So Whitey Ford.
All right, for this round, most people would think I went completely off the rails, and I'm not going to get a single vote unless there's a hardcore Milwaukee Brewer fan in the crowd. But I am just struck by this card and think it is amazing with the color matching to it, and it is Score. Robin Yount.
I didn't think we'd see a score tonight. That's cool.
Wow.
Nobody thought they would see an 89 scorecard tonight, did they? That was not on their bingo card, was it? Or 88 score, sorry.
It's very brave of you. It takes courage.
It's a good photo. It's a really good
That's great.
shot.
That's a great card.
Yep.
It is blue.
Yeah. And the blue matches really nicely with his helmet and uniform there. I mean, it's a great color match card. So, all right, let's show all of our blue picks. Yeah, Theo chimed in right away with Jake won, which I had the feeling when you showed that one it might be the case.
I don't know. Nick and Satchel, that's a pretty good
Although I
toss.
imagine there's
Good.
Red Dorado fans out there. Yep,
Yeah.
there's some Red Dorado fans.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's
Come on, any Brewer fans out there? Come on. Well, we got lots of Aaron's and Jake's, as expected on that one. All right. Now we are going to a different thing, and it's this category is now, oh my God, I own a card from this set. As in, for me, I'm looking at it as when I was a kid, or even, when I started this journey here in vintage, did I ever think I would own a card from this set? So, all right. What do you got, Aaron?
Well, I interpreted it differently because I said I had no idea this set existed. And when I found out how tough it was, somehow I still was able to land one. So this is a 1964 Penafeel. There is a Ruth, there's a Gehrig, there's a DiMaggio that just sold. This is one of 2 Hornsbys known to exist. I believe Koufax is the most common. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. One just sold at an auction for $20K. So they're slightly tough. This is originated in Mexico. It's a soft drink company, I believe. But if you look on the back, there's a little bit of damage on the back of mine, which is what made it reasonable. The guy I bought it from, he's like, I don't quite know. I know there's none of these, so I don't know what it should go for. How's this sound? And like, that sounds a lot less than I thought. So I paid him immediately. So I don't really know. I mean, this is the biggest variable in the world. I don't know what it's worth. Probably more than I paid. So I'm extremely thrilled. I will probably never own another one in that set because they're all outside the scope of what I can probably do. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was awesome. I don't think I've ever seen that card before.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it before.
Never heard of that. That's amazing. So I showed a 1915 Cracker Jack before, and I really kind of never thought that I would own a 14 Cracker Jack, but I had the opportunity to buy this, and it is most of a Hugh Jennings 1914 Cracker Jack. It is missing a bit of all 4 corners, but Hall of Famer. I bought this from Ash. It actually was raw when I bought it and got it graded. And yeah, it's just a cool, it's a cool piece of history. And again, it has the right, obviously it's a 14 because of the back being right side up. Yeah, I never imagined, growing up, I went to the baseball card shop that I went to as a kid in New Hampshire was called Cracker Jack Baseball Cards. And they had the sign looked like the Ty Cobb card. Cracker Jack Baseball Card Shop. And it was, so I always was enamored with the set and either a set, and yeah, getting to own a 14 is awesome. So that's my 14.
Nice. All
That's
right,
cool.
John.
Now, I don't know why I didn't bring it out in this video, but I have one Cracker Jack card and I love it from 1915, but I didn't bring it out tonight. So we'll have to see it on another night again. But I am thrilled to have a card from this set that I'm going to show. And it is, I think I had seen them before I had gotten out of the hobby. But when I got back in, I was out for so long. And so just sort of seeing these cards again for, in some ways, the first time, I was like, oh my God, I got to get a card from this set. How can I make this happen? And I picked up a Pepper Martin DeLong about 1.5 years ago. And I just love having a DeLong card. They're just so cool looking with the colors, and they're just, they're not hard to find, but they're not like super easy either. And they can get up there really quickly. But I gravitated toward Pepper Martin because, for one thing, I just love the picture. Of the 24 card set, this is my favorite card in the whole set. I just love the sliding picture. And it's like, I always picture like these little guys on the field. He's like taking them out as he's sliding kind of thing. And I just think it's like a Gulliver's Travels kind of thing. It's just cool. And the color's great. I love the Cardinals on the jersey and on the sock. And the fact that he's not a Hall of Famer, but yet a very well-known player in baseball history on the Gas House Gang made this card a little more gettable for the auction that I won. And I bought it raw, and I love the grade it got. So yeah, here's the back. It's got a little bit of water damage on one corner, so it's a little like crinkly creased in one corner. But gosh, overall, it's a really nice card, and I'm thrilled to have it.
Well, we've got Dan's Vintage agreeing with you, along with OCMC Joe, thinking it's the best card in that set. So,
oh wow, yeah, there's some awesome cards in that set.
So here's where I get to duplicate someone again, and this is a case where I did own a Cracker Jack card as a kid. It was my mom liked Cracker Jack, so I had quite a stack of those 1991 Topps micro Cracker Jack cards. So this isn't my first all-time Cracker Jack card, but it would be my first vintage one. And yeah, I mean, this is a case where, all the baseball card collecting books as a kid would have a picture from this set. They'd have a T206. They'd have Goudies, but you'd actually see those cards at my local card shop or at a show that I couldn't afford as a kid. I never saw one of these in person until now with adult collecting. So this seemed so unattainable. But if I hadn't have picked one of these up earlier this year, I might have gone with the long, because I love that Jimmy Fox I've got. But Cracker Jack. So this is a 15, by the way. So Harry Hooper. So let's show them.
There it is.
All right. Great stuff. We are almost done, people who have made it this long. Now, this one is, oh my God, I own a card of this guy.
Love these categories.
So this guy, for me, I had to go, I feel like, as I've gone vintage and then pre-war and then all the wars practically. So I went Cap Anson on that one. I think Cap for me was, even when you get into that era, he's like the big one of that era. So to finally have a Cap Anson in the collection was kind of a different feel for sure. So
you could almost say if it wasn't for guys like Cap Anson, Jackie Robinson wouldn't be as famous, right?
It's true. Yeah, there's definitely some I usually like to collect the people and their stories, and his story kind of sucks. He's not really a big person.
Problematic.
He's the biggest star and one of the biggest segregation proponents.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a bad person, but
yeah,
great player and part of the story, and just like steroids is part of the story. So you kind of gotta take it with what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like the example. Was it? I'm blanking on his name now. He has a brother. They do a show together. His brother collects 90s cards, but he collects vintage.
Iconic Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has the baby card.
Yeah, the baby Anson card. Yeah, that's
like a crying baby. That is a perfect Cap Anson card. Yes.
Yeah, that is fun.
Yeah. So, but yours is obviously beautiful. So, but
thank you. I'll look for the crying baby one in the future.
Yeah.
All right, Jake.
So once again, Aaron and I have got the same set back to back here. So it's that whole idea of like having a card from so long ago, from the 1880s, and mine, for me, it's King Kelly, who this was my big national purchase. John has actually held this card. He held this card in his hands. John 3D did.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I can't believe that, it's one of those things with these cards. I can't believe they've survived this long. And just a kind of legendary guy like King Kelly, contemporary of Cap Anson for sure. Great player. and great Boston player, and a great mustache, of course, as well. So very, very happy to own that one, and it's amazing. I can't believe that cards from that set are still around, and you can still get guys that played back then. Their cards.
Awesome. All right, what do you got, John?
All right, mine doesn't go back quite that far. Mine only goes back into the 50s. But so I didn't have. I think I've had this card now about a year, maybe just under a year. So about a year ago, 1 year ago, I probably didn't have any cards of this player. Now I actually have 3, and I'm just I'm kind of blown away that I do, because this guy to me was like growing, as a Yankee fan. It's not Babe Ruth, it's not Lou Gehrig, but it's Joe DiMaggio. And I'm like, when I got this card in the mail raw, I actually bought this. I got this in an eBay auction from a non-baseball card seller. This is a 1951 Burke Ross Joe DiMaggio. Got it graded. It came in a 2. It's got a crease going right across the middle that you can kind of see there. But otherwise, it's a pretty nice card. Actually, it has one other crease in one of the corners. But when I got this card in the mail, I'm sorry, it's PG-13. Holy shit, I've got a Joe DiMaggio card. Wow, this is amazing.
Such a great feeling.
I had a holy crap moment when this arrived, not just when I won the auction. So yeah, now I have 3 DiMaggio cards, but I'll always have the feeling of remembering getting this one. I was just so pumped. I don't know. Maybe it's the half Italian in me that really loves having it too. But it's just, Joe D is the man. He's not Stan the man, but he is. Joe D is Joe D. He's the Clipper.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I still can't believe I have that card. I love it. So it makes me feel like a kid again. You know what I mean? In some ways, it's like I really wish he's one of the players. DiMaggio is one of the players, like probably in the top 3 that I really wish I could have seen play. Even on TV, I would have loved to see him play.
Oh yeah, it'd be nice if there were good footage of him to at least see what everybody talked about.
Right. I don't want to see the clip of him just kicking the dirt by second base after I can't remember.
Yeah, we've seen that a few too many times.
Long fly ball, but you know what I mean. So yeah.
All right. So on this one, I pondered this a long time and just am like, compared to kid me, I feel like I have a wall full of, oh my God, I own these guys. So I went another direction. I put Cap Anson to shame as far as horrible people. And oh my God, I own a card of this guy. It is Adolf Hitler.
Wow. That is definitely an yeah, okay.
Yeah, this was the result of an obsessive thing that started with me getting a Winston Churchill card and wanted to get the first appearance on a trading card of every leader of World War II. So this is from a 1933 cigarette company, basically propaganda card the first year he took power in Germany.
Is someone monitoring the chat now? Or people leaving the chat now? I'm kidding.
Hey, yeah, we collect history, and
for sure.
So,
sure.
Yeah,
100%.
I have a whole row in my case down here that has Churchill, Mussolini, Hitler, FDR, Stalin, and Hirohito. So the oldest known card I could find of each of those guys. So there we go. Let's show them.
Wow. I don't know how to, I don't even know what to say. My guy just had a mustache. Like, I don't know.
I know.
All right. Who's going to vote for Hitler?
I should have got my Satan card out. My gosh. Yeah.
Hey, I've got America, apple pie, Chevrolet, all right, and wrapped up into this card.
Exactly.
Doesn't get more American than Joe D.
King Kelly's doing like vaudeville.
Can't believe it. Hey, I got a vote there. All right.
Wow.
Oh my goodness! I did not expect to see that card tonight.
No,
Between
that
and
was
Robin Young score.
Yeah,
John, you've dialed it up tonight.
I always expect the unexpected on For Collectors.
Indeed.
All right, so the last one I just said wild card is whatever card anybody wants to show. So have at it, Aaron. This is our finale card for the night.
All right. I went with another that I believe is a Pop Zero. It doesn't exist. Actually, I think if I've tracked it down right, I think there's somewhere between 3 and 4 of them. There could be more. Somebody might have one. But this is a TV dinner promotion. Thought to be maybe 58, 59, 60, something like that. Sandy Koufax. This is before he got to be good, essentially. Carl Furillo, it's rumored, was the one that kind of convinced him and said, hey, I need one last paycheck before I retire. These guys will pay us to do some advertising. You want to come along and do it? And he's like, all right, I'll do it. But it appears almost none of them have survived. So there's one on eBay right now. Gentleman I bought it from said he saw one other ever in his life, and he had this card for like 20 years. And then I tracked one sale online. So there may be as many as 4 that can be documented. But yeah,
Wow.
I think it's just kind of cool. He did not do a lot of promotions and advertising, and it's rough as all get out, and it's definitely been abused and taped and hole punched and written on, but it exists, and that's cool enough. So that's as wild as it gets for me.
Nice.
So
All right, Jake.
for me, I went with another card that I've had since I was a kid, and I got it graded a couple of years ago, and it is my Ozzie Smith rookie card in a PSA 4. Now, how I acquired this card is kind of the story, and basically, my dad worked with a woman who was Tom Seaver's niece. They worked together at a ski area near where I grew up, and his niece had a shoebox of cards, and she just gave them to me. And this was one of the cards that was in that shoebox, as well as I had a second year Mike Schmidt and a bunch of other cards. So I've always kind of wondered, did this card belong to Tom Seaver? Maybe, because she wasn't like a card collector, and she was, whatever. She just had these cards, but baseball was in her family and her blood, obviously, and just gave them to me. I don't know. But I kind of like to think that maybe this was his card. But I honestly have no idea either way. It belonged to someone in his family, at least. So, anyway.
Fun stuff.
Nice.
All right. So for my wild card, I've got to go with probably my wildest buying experience in the hobby, and that was for my Bob Gibson rookie card, 1959 Topps, that I've done a couple of videos on this year. So I bought this card ungraded in one of my LCSs, and pretty darn nice centering overall. Apologize for the glare on it, but it had a lot of wax staining on it. And I carefully got the wax staining off, sent it in, and it got a PSA 7, which is pretty crazy. Here's the back of this card. It's a nice card. It's a nice card. And so the value overall was a pretty good success story. So, I mean, if you want me to, I'll share. I've never actually shared what I paid for this card. He had it listed for $400, and I got it for $360. He gives me the 10% off usually. So I felt like because of the centering, it was like even with the staining, it was a nice deal. And for some reason, I just people were telling me you got to try to take that off, and so I carefully did with the pantyhose, and yeah. So that's my wild card. Is probably my wildest card acquisition in terms of how it got to this.
And not having priced that card at any time, what does a 7 go for?
It's currently averaging on VCP for a little under $3,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So pretty wild.
Yeah, well done.
Nice.
Yeah, nice job.
Yeah.
All right, for my wild card, I decided to go with a card that the acquisition time frame coincided with a major event. It was auction that was ending the evening of For Collectors' first opportunity to host Hobby Palooza. And after the show, we were so amped up. Sammy Thunder started a live stream, and I was looking at this auction the whole time, hopped on screen and shared the fact that I was the leader on this card. And we ended up counting down the seconds collectively till it closed, and I landed it. And this was a case where I had been saving for nearly a year to make this purchase, the largest purchase I've ever made. And the fact that, it coincided with that event, I shared it with all these people. Honestly, the experience of that auction closing is what kind of inspired me then to start doing the auction closing show live streams I've been doing as well. So, and that is my big one, the Babe Ruth. So,
Awesome.
W519 of unnumbered.
So great.
Very cool.
The image of him looks so good.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like their, the quality of the.
Yeah.
Really nice.
In terms of artwork strip cards, there's only like a couple different sets that really look like the people. And yeah, this is one of them. The W519s look great. So I would say the other one would be like the 516s, the ones where some of them are backwards images look really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but most of them look like garbage. The other strip cards that are artwork. But yeah. All right. Let's everybody show our wild cards. All right. And everybody, we still have 28 people, which is incredible since it's, we ran after midnight here on the East Coast. So thank you also for Jake and John. After
Not quite. Not quite.
It's 11. Just after 11.
It's 11. Not quite.
Oh, wait, you guys aren't East Coast? I thought you were. You're Central?
No, we are. It's
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm mixing up the time. Never mind. It's after 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am. I'm in Massachusetts. It's definitely the East Coast. So
I'm about as far west in the Eastern time zone as it gets.
So to me, that was fun. A lot of people keep talking about how showing cards is boring, but if we're all here because we love cards, why wouldn't you want to show them? Why do you just want to talk about them? So any last
while we were doing this, I
Aaron?
actually won an auction tonight too. So
hey,
okay, cool.
There you go. Good for you.
I had to go to another tab, put in another bid, make sure I won it. So
Nice.
Multitasking.
Very good.
All right, Dylan just got here. He told us to start over. So since he's on Hawaii time, it's very early for him. So
what's for breakfast, Dylan?
not that early, but all right. Thank you, everybody, for staying with us. Really appreciate the chat, chiming in and keeping up. And next week, with the change in plans, I think our scheduled thing is I might be involved again because I was supposed to be the regular host next week. I think we might be doing actually an auction closing show for the collector investor auctions. Turns out that goes into the extended bidding right at 9:00 at our auction start or our live stream start time. So it's kind of perfect. Anybody involved with that auction, you can feel free to chime in with what you're doing because at that point, extended bidding, new people can't get in on it. So, and we can celebrate your wins if you do win live on screen. So, but yeah, everybody, thank you, Aaron, Jake, John, so much for helping me out with this. And thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time on For Collectors.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Love my hobby. Keep collecting baseball cards.
Mike.
But Hey, we want to keep the lights on here at Four Collector Studios, so hit the like button for us, guys.
So thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you next time on Four Collectors.
All right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Subscribe to the Four Collectors channel if you haven't done so yet, and we'll see you soon.
All right, guys. Clemente Collector has said we hit a grand slam, so that makes me feel good.